Get ready, guys. We're going to make a Thankskilling on this episode.
Ugh, great, Callie. Now you've put me in a foul mood.
Ahem. Ricky, come out and pawn.
I refuse. I'm too chicken. No pun intended.
Ugh. Intend your pun, you coward.
Hello and welcome to MonsterKid Fury. I'm Callie. Joining me today is Rich from MonsterKid Central. Hi, Rich.
Howdy.
And special guest, Melissa, also from MonsterKid Central. Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Today we are going to be discussing Gobble 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 Thanksgiving. It's going to be a home for the horror days edition.
Oh, nice. Did we trademark that?
We can. We absolutely can.
I think you need to, because that's gold.
Right. Put that in.
No, but horror days sounds like something how our aunties would pronounce it.
Oh, the aunties. God love them. All right. So anything and everything horror movie that relates to family. I think that was going to be our topic. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Melissa, would you like to go first in this?
What I think of first when I think of family horror movies is House of a Thousand Corpses. It was kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It had that feel of like a weird family out in the middle of nowhere, but they were their own kind of weird, which I really like, that they didn't go exactly Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Right. And it had Dr. Satan.
Now, it's one that I haven't seen, so go ahead and give me the summary of what it's about.
Well, like all old school horror movies, it's about a group of kids who drive in the middle of nowhere, and they get picked up they find a small town, and pretty much you don't know it at the time, but everyone in that town is in cahoots to get these kids over to this house. And there's a legend, Dr. Satan, that, they have like a weird carnival ride that the kids go through, and they think it's fun at first until they meet Dr. Satan.
Dun dun.
Yeah, but it had a lot of cool, creepy, it was like an homage to the older movies from like the 70s.
Right.
I always liked it.
Excellent. And what are your thoughts on this pick, Rich?
Well, it has my buddy Rob Zombie behind it. So it was the first, I believe, Rick would know, but I believe it was the first Rob Zombie movie, and
it was his first movie.
Okay, and it became popular because it probably is the most like watching one of his music videos. I promise I'm not taking a shot at it. I'm just saying that it's not heavy plot. It's more visuals.
Okay.
There is a plot in there, but it's really minimal. And you're just going for creepy and that kind of thing. It wasn't necessarily my kind of thing at first, but I will admit that it grew over the years to kind of pull me in a little bit.
Okay. And I'm gonna say that's funny because Ricky's not here to hear any of this, so we'll just keep it at that. He'll have to see this portion later. He can respond to it, maybe.
I really should be going apeshit on it right now instead. Just tear it to shreds And
Yeah.
then when you say, "Gee, isn't that a little harsh?" I'm going to say, "Do you hear anybody arguing?" But we love Rick, so we won't do that to him.
Yeah, it was just interesting because in the first movie, it was all about this weird family attacking the kids and pretty much torturing them. And then they made a sequel, The Devil's Rejects. And that
Oh.
one had you rooting for the bad guys.
Right. Yeah, it had very much a different feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it had Freebird at the end, so I loved it.
yeah.
Nice.
And it was, in fact, it was kind of plot heavy in that one. Um, it was an interesting way to do a sequel.
Okay.
It really was. Because it was like their whole murdering thing got found out and they were like trying to run from the police. And then they finally caught up with them and there was like a standoff with them.
Yep.
Oh, fugitives on the run kind of thing.
Yeah, but they did it in a really cool way with Freebird.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll even admit to that. It was interesting. Yeah.
I cried. I was crying for them. I was like, don't kill the murderers.
Where's the compassion?
Right, right.
He only skinned him a little bit. He's fine.
He's gonna survive it. It's all right.
It's Monty Python-esque. It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah.
I enjoy that then. That's something that you don't find a lot where you have a group of characters that do horrific things, but you actually feel for them once it comes time for them to have their comeuppance. You're like, oh, okay. No, I think I still want them to survive somehow. Okay.
Yep.
This is yet another one that I haven't seen, but I know about it because Ricky is such a Rob Zombie fan. And because Rich is not such a Rob Zombie fan, I hear the banter between the two of them on it. So I find that interesting and funny. All right. So, Rich, what was going to be your
Oh, you know what's
Thanksgiving?
going to be mine.
Lay it on us.
Family at a big table, lots of bones. I mean, come on. I would have to I really would have to go deep to try and figure out something other than Texas Chainsaw Massacre because it just, it's just so family. And really, who at Thanksgiving hasn't at one point wanted to carve somebody up? So, you know,
Thank you.
they involve Grandpa. I mean, so he even gets to take a whack at it. Um, so anyway, I mean, everybody knows the plot, everybody knows everything about it, but it's just the perfect Thanksgiving movie for me. Uh, if if I was going to, somebody had a gun to my head, then I would explain what I explained before about the shirt. In the Northeast, um, around Thanksgiving, they will run Godzilla movies on Channel 9. Well, they used to. So that's why my Thanksgiving shirt, instead of getting gussied up like Melissa did, um, plus you don't want to see me gussied up. It's not pretty. Um, but anyway, my way of bringing Thanksgiving in is anything Godzilla because that really takes me back to the days of my youth. So parents watched football, and we got to watch our monster movies.
Nice.
Callie, what about you?
So, family around Thanksgiving for us used to revolve around a couple of staples. We would always watch um, Weekend at Bernie's,
Cool.
which is not a family movie. I don't think.
No, but
I
there's
don't
a dead guy
consider.
in it, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was that, and then recently we had started doing this thing where the Babadook was our Thanksgiving thing. And that to me has a very strong family oriented storyline because have you seen that one, Melissa?
Oh yeah, the Baba Duke.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea behind it is that a mother and son are dealing with the after effects of the husband's passing, and the mother is feeling like she's losing her mind. She doesn't know what's going on with her son, who is kind of a handful and in more ways than just typical rambunctious child. He crafts weapons. He's being very aggressive towards other people in his school, and it's bringing attention from unwanted attention from the school officials as well as people who are concerned about her, things like that. And I think that the focus on their little family is probably the strongest because it deals with their trauma that they lived through and how do they move on as a two-person family now. Bringing in the themes of Thanksgiving and family and togetherness, I think that for me was a great pick simply because it just has the themes that we were talking about. And I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I can't be on that same vibe with you guys. So yeah.
Well, Babadook is a terrific movie, and it is creepy AF, and just good stuff all around. Considered maybe artsy, kind of tame.
Oh yeah.
Not a lot of outward, stuff thrown at the camera, but beautiful to watch. And again, creepy. I mean, really creepy at times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So,
lots of dark shadows and
yep. And I love that aspect of a movie anyway. So,
Agreed. For me at least, it brings back the whole idea that even though you've gone through something tragic, there still could be a light at the end of the tunnel. And granted, in their case, they had a supernatural being to contend with. Not a lot of us do, but I still think that it's definitely a good Thanksgiving movie to kind of show.
well, the other thing I think that maybe the audience is going through with their picks when they think of Thanksgiving movies. Sometimes it doesn't have as much to do with the movie as it does with the family getting around and watching it together. So
Yes,
it could be something like Godzilla, where let's face it, there's not a lot of family in there, unless you do that hideous one where his son shows up. But anyway,
the Godzuki.
yeah,
Godzuki.
God, I hate that. Anyway, uh, but but even just all sitting around and watching a movie, and will bring back you know great memories of Thanksgiving.
Do you guys have anything else that you wanted to bring into the Thanksgiving sharing time?
I do.
okay.
I want to be able to tell everybody, and I'm going to try and do this unemotionally, that
Oh,
I am so thankful for you guys. You have no idea.
Aw.
You make me look smarter than I am, better than I am, and I just greatly appreciate everything you do. And although I don't want to go into the actual figures, we can admit that I'm not one of the best paying jobs on the planet. So, but I do pay. So
you do.
anyway, so that's what I'm thankful for, especially is you two, and what's his face, who's not here, he's sick, and everybody else. I really do appreciate you for the podcast and for the website. And happy Thanksgiving, Kathy. can't forget Kathy because she makes all of us look better.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
Oh, by the way, Melissa is the proud owner of the only column that Kathy went, no, it's good, right off the bat.
Wow.
No changes, nothing. And believe
Kudos.
me, she tears mine to shreds. But it basically, she went, no, it's good to go. I said,
Wow.
did you read it? And she said, yeah, it's good to go. I'm like, okay, maybe you want to just tweak a little. Nope, good, it's good. So that's for
Very
you.
awesome.
Aw, thanks, Kathy. Makes me feel special.
Because you are special.
You
Oh,
are.
thank you.
I am also thankful for you because, again, without you, I don't think that I would have been introduced to the amount of anime that I have and having the love for it. That's all you, girl.
What? Me?
That's
You
all
liked that
you.
stuff before.
I liked one. And then you're like, but there's just others. There's these others.
Yeah,
So,
watch them all. Oh, thank you. I'm just really grateful to be a part of this group and for Kelly staying in touch with me all these years, even though we don't get to see each other often. So it's really important to me, especially everything that's been happening in my life recently. It's important for me to have strong bonds and people who are supportive and who love me no matter what. So I appreciate you guys.
That's absolutely us.
We do love you.
And Richie too. Yeah. And Richie too, thanks.
Well, I wish we were all here to comment, but somebody's sick, so I guess we're gonna be able to bring Rick in, but it's just right now he's under the weather, and and unlike me, who won't let a little pandemic slow him down, Rick obviously can't handle it, and we love him for it. We're thankful for him anyway.
We are.
You should have brought in a sock puppet.
Oh my gosh. That would have been perfect.
That would have been great.
Right? Hi, Rich. Rob Zombie forever.
That's all he would do. He would just pop up every once in a while, Rob Zombie, and then goodbye.
Did we want to bring out our food?
Well, don't have mashed potatoes right now. I have potatoes. I can bring you the potatoes.
You're like the before and the after.
You want to see me peeling them? I can do that.
Nah, girl, you good.
And the problem with me is I just have that little pack of 6 cheese crackers, those things that they sell at the dollar store for, there's 40 of them. Yeah, that's all I have here. That's all I keep.
That's fine. Okay, so at your Thanksgiving table, what would you have, Rich?
Oh, that's easy. I come from a German family, literally came over on the boat kind of family. And so if it were up to me, I would have my grandmother's sauerbraten, which is just absolutely delicious, and red cabbage, and the way she used to make potatoes is otherworldly. I have no idea. I'm hoping someday, to find the recipe, tucked behind something, but I think she took it with her, and that's just a damn shame. So that would be me, at least from my childhood.
And what about you, Melissa?
Me? We just have the normal stuff. If it were up to my daughter, we'd only have mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. But we have stuffing, turkey. We have to have some vegetables that the children avoid. And we have apple pie usually. We're not real big pumpkin pie kids over here.
Oh.
Well, if I may, I have a dear friend, Maddie. When I went up to visit her, she used to be a neighbor of mine, and I always, I don't know why, but I love doing that last minute run to the grocery store, like right before Thanksgiving dinner, you
Ah,
know. And so I knocked on her door and I said, "Listen, I'm going to the grocery store because we need, I forget what it was, but oh, it was the little Durkee onions."
Yeah.
French onions. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went for that, and she said, "Yeah, I need a can of yams." I said, "Okay, great." So of course I get to the store. I've never bought yams in my life, and find out that the yams are called sweet potatoes, and I can't figure out the difference between it. So I just bought like 8 things back. And when I went to deliver this stuff, she said, "Hey, you got to try a piece of pumpkin pie." And I said, "I don't do pumpkin pie. I really don't like it." She said, "Yeah, you've never had this." And I said, "Yeah, but I've heard that line before plenty of
Right?
times. Everybody always, well, yeah, but you haven't had mine. And of course, it tastes like pumpkin." So, so she said, "Well, you tell me." And I try the thing, and I'm crazy head over heels about it.
What?
And I was like,
Well, that's good.
"What's going on here?" She said, "Well, you put Cool Whip in it. You put it's a graham cracker crust. You put there's pudding in it." I'm like, "Really?" So anyway, she gave me the recipe for this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and when my father was around, if he was going to be anywhere, I would be making one of those because he and I would just polish it off. Just, I mean, just like pigs. It was pathetic but fun.
It sounds like a really decadent pumpkin
Oh
pie.
my God, it's so
So
good.
yeah.
And of course, my family doesn't like it now,
Aw.
so I haven't had a piece of that pumpkin pie since yeah, God
Okay.
only knows. Anyway,
Well, if you find that recipe, send it to me
okay,
because
Yeah.
it's
I'll make
pretty
it.
freaking impressive. I'll send it to both of you,
Yay!
and
Yeah.
it's very easy to make, and it's no bake.
Oh, seriously?
So
Even
we love
better. No
no
bake.
bake.
Yep. So
I love
I love.
pumpkin cheesecake though. Pumpkin cheesecake is delicious.
I, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, it's not as bad as pumpkin pie. Straight out
Mhm.
pumpkin pie. The cheese adds a hell of a lot to it. Let's put it that way.
It helps.
Because cheesecake is awesome anyway. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what about you, Callie?
around our Thanksgiving table. So growing up, being the Filipina that I am, we always had pancit every single occasion. So I always have memories of pancit with potato salad and then the regular fixings for Thanksgiving.
That is an odd
Turkey.
combo.
Wow.
Pancit and potato salad.
Oh my god, it's amazing to me. And so I've continued on that and it's what I do. So around my table you'll find those.
And is everybody on board with that? Do they?
uh
Does the whole family like it, or one or two don't?
they partake in one or the other. Like they don't eat it
Okay.
together like I do cuz I'm weird. But they'll either have pancit and potato salad like separately kind of a thing. But yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Kind of like the pumpkin pie. If you're not into the pumpkin pie, it's there. You can have some if you want it, but
Right.
yeah. Oh, and of course lumpia because everybody's a fool for some freaking lumpia.
Yeah. I get tired of making it though because as soon as you fry it, everyone starts eating it. You don't even
It's
have any to
gone.
put on display.
Nope. Nope. They're
I,
gone too fast.
I'm not familiar with that dish.
Oh, okay. So it's basically an egg roll. It's a
But with
Filipino egg
meat,
roll.
with
Well,
meat, we're meat heavy.
we
Good.
are. We are. You can choose whatever meat you want. From what I could tell, everybody does their recipes different, but
Mhm.
ground beef seems to be the base, and you could do either pork and chicken lumpia. Again, it doesn't matter, but really it's just kind of like a thin deep fried egg roll with
Yeah,
meat.
Oh, sign me up. I'm on
it's
board.
Very delicious.
delicious.
Very delicious.
Yeah,
And
I haven't
Melissa's
ate
right.
a lumpia that I didn't like.
Right? It is hard to mess them up too. And like I said, everybody's got their recipe for theirs, but dog, I haven't run into anybody's who's I've been like, yo, I can't have your lumpia.
Yeah, and you put it in the sauce, it's delicious.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's the other thing. Some people are purists where they don't like to have sweet, is it sweet chili? Sweet chili sauce?
Yeah, sweet chili sauce.
And not everybody does, but it depends. Like for instance, my kids don't dip. They like it dry. Like a
Yeah.
bunch of weirdos. But
Whereas you have my dad who's a heathen and dips it in ketchup.
oh my god.
I know.
No. Yeah.
Right.
I'd have to look away. Or as soon as he
Yeah,
asks for it, I'm like, hide
it's
the
hard to
ketchup.
watch. It's definitely hard to watch. I'm like, Dad, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
it's
making these little things are, and again, it depends on the person because I like to make mine on the longer side so I can cut them in half. Technically, you have two out of one,
That's
but
right.
depends on the person.
so is the ketchup? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I just is the ketchup like the equivalent to the guy who puts ketchup on steak instead of steak
Yeah,
sauce or something? Okay, all right,
it's unnatural. It's not meant to go with it.
right. Yet somehow it does.
Yeah, he loves it with ketchup. I'm like, ew. I was like, you don't want any of the chili sauce? He's like, no.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
okay. Foods and Thanksgiving definitely synonymous with one another. So it's
Yeah,
what
and I
brings
guess
people
it
together.
depends who you celebrate with. Like if Filipinos were over, you'd have more Filipino food, or if I was with my white family, then we'd have more green bean casserole.
Well, we were mutts basically, so we had everything. I mean everything. There'd be uh, grandma's baked beans in there. It's like, and some people are like, so you did a cookout? No, no, that was in the house. They just did the baked beans, you know.
Yep,
So yeah, it would be a little bit of everything. So
absolutely.
and and as ridiculous as it sounds, as a kid, I used to love taking mashed potatoes and putting peas in it, mixing them together. Mashed
Yeah, that's
potatoes
how
and
you
peas.
do it.
Well, you would think so, but I'd get these looks from people like, like I was eating paint. It's like, what are you doing? It's like two foods. I'm putting them together, you know. So
Yeah, you
anyway,
mix it all together with your mashed potatoes. Add some corn in it. You got a meal.
absolutely.
Kind of like I like to do with some pancit and some some potato salad.
I
Oh
really
man,
have.
that's still bizarre to me.
I still
Oh,
have. I have to
so
try Bonset.
okay, so are you familiar with what it is?
No.
Okay, so pancit is noodles. It's just basically
Filipino chow mein.
Ooh,
the
I
thin
like that.
ones, like is it Mei Fun? I think is what
It's
they call
I just know them as rice noodles.
the rice noodles. So they're like super thin.
Hmm. You can have the fat noodles too, or you can mix them both.
I
I don't like the
refuse.
thin noodles. I like the thin noodles too.
All right, guys. I think that's probably it. We did excellent on on our talks with the stuff. Do we have any other movies that we want to talk about for Thanksgiving?
Um,
Or we're probably going to save that for
yeah,
the other.
because
Okay.
yeah, because there's a few of them. But I mean, they're pretty grim.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah, we want Ricky in on that one.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to suffer alone on that one.
Well, all right. I think that's going to do it for this one then.
Okie
Melissa,
dokie.
always love having you on the show.
Happy
Thanks.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving to you guys too.
Love you, girl. Mwah.
Bye.
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 Yeah, so the deal is this. I don't. My go-to Thanksgiving movie is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's what I watch every year. I don't have a horror movie to talk about. I mean, I could, I know about Thankskilling and all that other stuff, but
We learned about Thankskilling.
Oh, yes, it's fine. It's in the past.
I did want to explain my Thanksgiving attire. There was, no, there probably still is a channel called WWOR Channel 9 out of New York. And the tri-state area, every Thanksgiving and day after Thanksgiving, you'd see King Kong movies and Godzilla movies. And it was something for the kids to hold on to, the monster kids to hold on to, where their parents are either eating, drunk, sleeping, or watching football. We had something that we could do, and it was our football, and that was the deal. So Godzilla will always be Thanksgiving to me. Now, I understand that it's regional, but that's what Thanksgiving is. It's the first thing I think of after the turkey. Is I'm thinking, yep, Godzilla. So so that's the reason. This, I know this looks awfully disjointed, but it is.
I
Makes
felt it
sense.
make perfect sense. I'm like,
Yes,
yeah, Godzilla, yeah.
So,
exactly.
okay. Anyway,
See, but in November for me, anyways, like the last episode, we talked about the post Halloween blues. November has always been kind of a time where I just kind of move into science fiction, Star Trek. That's kind of my November viewings for the month,
right.
kind of a deal. It seems kind of natural.
Yeah, I think the only movie that I have ever done that with is It's a Wonderful Life. I can't watch it anymore. I won't do that to myself.
Ah.
Like
But
what point, when he's running through town, or once he gets back to the house?
no, once he gets back to the house, and everybody
Gotcha.
shows up to do these wonderful favors and everything else. It just tears me up. And of course Eileen sits there and say, "Well, it's supposed to," and I say, "Yeah, okay, that doesn't
It
help."
doesn't make me feel any better right now.
Right? No, I can still deal with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But look at Home Alone at the very end when he's looking out the window and sees the Robert Blossoms hugging his son.
Mhm.
That's it for me.
You know how I prevent myself from crying at that moment?
Well,
I picture him and Christine saying, "Don't
or
bother bringing her back either, because I'm gonna sell all the shit. Buy condo."
or Deranged. Did you see? Have you seen
He's
Deranged?
so weird. Yeah, he's so weird in that.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Part of the Bob Clark people there, because it wasn't directed by Bob Clark, but he produced it, right?
Right,
Disturbed,
Ormsby. I'm pretty.
directed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a great combination. Either separately or together, they just killer.
Mm.
Oh, definitely. I don't know. He hasn't done anything over recent years, has he?
No, I'm Facebook friends with him, but I mean that's it. I've never met him. I desperately would like to.
His oddest final credit was co-writing The Substitute, the Tom Berenger movie,
Right.
Oh,
which was co-written by another horror person, Roy Froops. How do you pronounce his last name? Frumsk.
From
Frumks.
from yeah.
Yeah, the guy who did the Dawn of the Dead documentary on Romero.
Yeah. Roy
Yeah,
Frumkes, I
from
think.
okay, there you go. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. So it's so bizarre. It's an action movie, but it's written by horror people.
Yep.
It's a good movie, though I
Yeah.
prefer the sequels with Treat Williams.
Right.
The Substitute?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one where the guy goes into a school and like kind of cleans it up, but he's crazy?
No.
No, you're
That's
thinking
Morgan
of
Freeman. That's
yeah.
Morgan.
There was a whole bunch of movies like that. There's Stand and Deliver, right?
Okay.
Right.
Then you got The Substitute. Then you have The Principal with Jim Belushi, which is kind of a watershed version of The Substitute.
Okay.
But it's all going into a high school where the teenagers have taken over and are a bunch of criminals and everything.
What's the one with was it Michelle Pfeiffer?
Dangerous Minds.
Yeah. That's right.
The only good thing about that movie was her in a leather jacket and the Coolio song. That was the only good things about that movie.
Aw, Rip Coolio.
I know. I always forget he's dead. I do.
Damn,
I'm like,
say it like
I'm
that.
like, why hasn't Coolio done anything lately? Not here anymore. Like, oh.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Why couldn't you have taken one of the bad rappers? Why couldn't you take P. Diddy, God? Why couldn't you take P. Diddy?
Yeah.
Leave us Coolio.
We love us some Gangsta Paradise.
Amish Paradise. Pretty good too.
Oh my God, that's probably my favorite. It's difficult to pick from Weird Al, but I think Amish Paradise has to be my favorite. It's just so freaking good.
But I will say, "Gangsta's Paradise" is probably like one of the best rap songs ever, like produced overall.
Yep.
Like the beats behind it and everything. It's pretty. It definitely creates an image in your head.
So for The Substitute, what did he do? You still haven't told.
You're really on The Substitute. You're just like Tom Berenger. You have a teacher who is basically being targeted by, oh my God, what is his name? He's a Hispanic like singer, a big deal. What is his name? It's actually his first acting performance, but
It's
he's
Jose
the one threatening.
Feliciano, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
I don't even get that. Mark Anthony. There you go. It's Mark Anthony.
Oh, Mark Anthony.
Yeah, he's the leader of a gang, and a teacher who just doesn't like his element and starts speaking up is like, becomes a target of him and his gang. Well, unfortunately for them, she was dating Tom Berenger previously, who is like a black ops mercenary. So he comes to visit her,
I got you.
and she starts telling him what's going on, and he's like, "Oh, well, we're going to fix this." And he goes in as a substitute teacher to clean everything up, and he ends up bringing along like other mercenaries to work as security people. Ray Cruz, Tuco from Breaking Bad, is one of them, actually.
Cool guy.
Yeah, he's one of the mercs. So
Yep.
it's William Forsythe. He's one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty good. It's weird. It's not a great movie. Like it actually goes on like way too long. Like every time the movie is going to have its finale, it's like, oh fuck, we got like another 20 minutes. Isn't it pretty much all tied up? What's going on? So it's got like it's the Lord of the Rings of B action movie kind of stuff.
So. Oh, I call it AI, Spielberg's AI, because that thing faded out like 7 times. And I'd be like, okay, well, that's it. And it'd start up again. I'd be, fuck.
It's not done yet.
I don't know what it was with Steven Spielberg during that time. That motherfucker just wanted to leave me an emotional wreck with that and Saving Private Ryan. 2 movies that I refuse to watch again to this day because they messed me up too badly.
I hated AI. I loved Private Ryan.
Really. There
Yeah.
was something with AI. I don't know, man. I just felt for that kid. It's like I guess it's the more human than a human kind of element, and when he's down there underwater, it's like, oof.
Oh.
No,
He's thinking about it. Don't think about it.
you know who I felt for? I felt for me because I had to
Oh my
sit
God.
through
Okay.
those fake ending that kept that kept
The
it
fade
kept
outs, yep.
fading out to black. I mean, it was like,
And you thought it
please,
was done.
man. I really
What's
did.
interesting? You can tell that he wanted that movie to feel like a Kubrick movie, though,
Yeah,
in terms of those elements, because remember, it was going to be a Kubrick movie initially. That's
yeah.
why Spielberg took it
Oh,
over after he died. Yeah, it's
okay.
kind of weird to picture them hanging out, but apparently they were really good friends
Who says they
because
can't
they're
be
polar
friends?
opposites. You just look at them and it's like, what do you guys have in common? Yeah.
Movies. Have movies in common.
Yep. So their friendship made me an enemy. So
Oh my
so
goodness.
listen, that I'm not, and I swear I am not exaggerating this.
What?
I'm watching the movie, and sometime around the third ending, um, the this elderly, and I mean pumice elderly. I don't mean old. I mean elderly couple come, and they're standing right in front of me.
Oh no.
So I'm looking at these two like 104-year-old asses, and they're watching the screen. Oh,
What?
they're standing up watching the movie, and I'm like, I don't know whether to thank them or not,
Because
because
you're
they're
missing.
blocking.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And he says, "Is this the movie?" And she says, "I don't know." And he says, "I think it is." And
Oh
she
no.
says, "I'm just not sure." Well, let's sit down and watch. And he says, "We're not." And I'm now wondering, does he mean sitting down or watching the movie or neither? Or so so they continue to yell at each other
In front of you.
because
Still
now they're
blocking your view.
aggravated, and I can't see them, and I know that I'm like face height to their butts, and it's just like the worst fucking thing.
Um,
And when I get out, my father looks at me and says, "So, besides the movie, how was everything?" And I said, "Oh my God, just get me out of here." Besides everything, how was the movie?
That's
it's
actually
So,
awful,
really
man.
great.
oh my God, it
So
was
you're like,
unbelievable. And I know, like, all I'm thinking is, this could only happen to me. It's just there's nobody else on earth going through this now but me in this theater.
so
Ugh,
Kubrick and Spielberg, look what you've done.
exactly.
Look what you've done.
Yeah, and all I was positive was that those people drove to this theater. Those people who didn't know where the fuck they were drove to that theater. God only knows how many people were dead in their wake.
We're not.
Oh my God.
It was oh my God, what a fucking deal that was. Is this the movie?
So one of the things I wanted to mention in terms of horror and its relation to Thanksgiving
Yeah.
is, like you said,
We're back on that. All right.
Yeah,
yeah, we're on a horror show. I'm just gonna try to
Okay.
keep everyone. I'm gonna corral you like kittens, as my
All
wife
right.
says. It's like, come
Good
here,
luck.
come here, come here. Uh,
Yeah.
the family connection.
Yes.
There's quite a few horror films which are built on the idea of family, no matter how
Correct.
positive or negative. When Joe Bob, in his first couple years, did a Thanksgiving special that included Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that definitely made sense.
Yep.
Because when you really look at it from the point of view of the family, if you choose to do that, they're staying together. They are at their core a family, and they're just making do with the world that they've been pushed into, if you will.
Yep.
They've gone into a more modern, civilized society, but they're maintaining what they consider to be family.
Right.
A lot of the films during that time, The Hills Have Eyes, which we've spoken about before. But what is that? It's about two families, two different cultures clashing.
Yep.
The Shining. What is it about? It's about a family. No, family in distress, obviously. But all these things come into play into horror because what is important to us as a species? Well, our families, our tribes, those are very important. So when John Carpenter mentions things about the concepts of a horror that works for him, there's the evil on the inside and there's the evil out there. Well, the evil out there is always going to come to obviously attack what's important to you. And that's why I think that kind of comes into play so much when I think of Thanksgiving and its connection to horror films.
Right.
Even outside of an Eli Roth slasher movie, that type of thing. Which, have you seen that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of it?
I had fun. I mean, you know, it's that kind of thing is rarely brilliant to me, but if it entertains me, I'm cool.
Yeah, you're kinder.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Let's stop putting YouTube people. No offense to YouTube. Let's stop putting influencers in movies just because they can go online and go on TikTok and be a star. That doesn't mean you can be an actor, and we need to stop doing that. Because the lead in Thanksgiving, she's one of those YouTuber influencer types,
Yeah.
and she just didn't work for me. You know who was actually good in that movie was the girl who got the ear kebab thing going on.
Right.
She was a really good actress. I mean,
Yeah.
I bought her Fear, every bit of it.
Right.
But everybody else in that movie, and spoiler, I saw it a mile away. The dude was the killer. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There was no one left. It was obvious.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, sure.
Yeah.
I also, as far as movies about family,
hmm
one of your favorite movies is Stepfather.
hmm
Is so much a Thanksgiving movie. It's a Thanksgiving nightmare movie, but it's a Thanksgiving movie. And
All Jerry wants is a family.
yeah, yeah.
But it's the
Um,
perfect family. That's where he goes wrong.
it,
If he was able to grade on a curve, he would have
yeah,
been made out so
yeah.
much better.
Like the rest
Wouldn't
of us, yeah.
yeah wouldn't have been a horror movie. In fact, it would just would have been a family romp. But unfortunately, no. He was going for the one. So
I think the best moment of that movie, of the original, is when he goes back to the house that he sold people previously in the movie, and he sees the little girl outside playing, and she runs to her dad when he comes home from work.
yeah,
And man, Terry O'Quinn's face is amazing in that scene.
yeah,
Excuse me, because that's everything he wants right there.
right,
And when you see his expression, you forget how evil he is.
yeah.
It's just so good.
Twisted and weird.
Exactly.
Who am I here? Oh, that's right, Jerry Blake. You know who's awful in that movie though? And kind of like Close Encounters, my wife kind of magnified. This lady's not very good. Is Shelley Hack? She is really, some of her delivery in that movie so bad. He's your father now, and you will you will respect him. I'm like, ooh. Someone said cut and was like, they were good with that. They're like, okay, yeah, moving on.
Well, that line, um, in a very weird way, reminded me of a reality. What ended up happening was, boy, do I really want to go here? Okay,
Oh.
what happened was when Eileen and I got together, and
Mhm.
and my soon to be son, what was her child, and and I desperately wanted to adopt him. This was not something where, you know, that he or I were not looking forward to. We were very excited about this, but there was some pushing at the beginning. You know, he was trying. I think he was the man of the house when I came there.
Yes.
So anyway, she goes out to walk the dog, and she says to and I forget where Michael was, but she said, "Do me a favor, when he comes back, tell him to make sure he showers." Okay, so I walked in and I said, "Your mom asked me to tell you to shower." So I didn't say it wasn't coming from me.
Yes.
You know, I said your mom. So I thought I pretty much did everything right, and of course he completely ignored me.
Oh.
So when she came home from walking the dog, she said he's not in the shower, and I said, "Well, I told him to," and so she went in to talk to him, and I guess basically what he told her was that he said that I said get in the shower or I'd scold him.
Oh my God.
And Eileen went, he doesn't use the word scold. I mean, I've known him forever, but scold, you know. So she said, "All right, something's going on here." Well, Michael was upset because I was leaving that night to go back to Connecticut to throw everything in a truck and come down.
Ah.
And he thought, you know, I was booking.
Oh.
And he so anyway, so I'm now packing just a duffel bag to bring back to Connecticut. And she goes in to talk to Michael, and then she comes out and she says, "Could you come here for a minute?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I figured, here, you know, I'm screwed. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm in trouble, but something's going on. I walk into his room, and he's lying in bed with his hands like behind his head, looking quite pleased with himself.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Oh shit." I mean, the writing is on the wall. And she looks at him and she says, "So here's the deal." And then she raises her voice and says, "I don't know why this man would disrupt his life to adopt somebody who's going to treat him as badly as you're treating him now. But here's exactly the way this is going to work. You've lived here for 7 years now. You know where the front door is. You don't like this? Leave."
Oh
To
wow.
him, and he like turned like ashen gray.
Oh.
It's like you could see on his face, it was like, where did this go wrong?
Right.
And she said, "Do we understand each other?" And he kind of shook his head, and she said, "All right," and we left his room. So we're now in what's going to be our bedroom, and again, I'm packing just a duffel, and he comes in and he comes over and he hugs me, and he says, "I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm acting like this." And I said, "Yeah, I know exactly why you're acting like this." I said, "I'm leaving, and I'm going to be leaving for 2 months." I said, "But I'm coming back."
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, I've never seen. He was so surprised. That look on his face, it went like, if it had been film, it would have been one frame
Yeah.
from that to just stark. You know what? So yeah.
I was waiting for Rich's follow up to the whole, "I know why you're acting like this. I'm banging your mom."
No, but no. But anyway, so that scene in Stepfather is actually something that kind of hits home, you know.
Yeah.
So regardless of her delivery, you
Right, yeah.
you still felt it because you got to
Right.
see it firsthand, essentially.
Did you see Leatherface? And I don't mean the Jeff Burr one. Did you see the other
Yes.
one called Leatherface?
I've
Where they
seen everything with the characters in it.
it's like, oh, we're gonna go ahead and make it a mystery of who Leatherface is, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yep.
So fucking horrible.
I know. That's the weird thing about that is the fact that I can't stay away from it though.
Mm.
It's the same thing with any of those offshoots or sequels or out and out remakes of Night of the Living Dead. George Romero's zombie world, I can't stay away from.
Yeah.
So they put it out, and I look, and it's got a cast of people who I've never heard of, and I've never heard of anybody on the crew, and I've never heard of anything else. But it's called Night of the Living Dead. Sign me up. And of course, when I get home with it and I pop it in the machine because I had to buy it,
Oh.
I sit there and it's like, what the fuck do you expect, you idiot?
Yeah.
You know, it's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome.
It's like the spirit of George Romero is going to kind of fade in like a
Right.
Jedi Knight who's passed away and been like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Right.
Why?
Exactly.
What's wrong with you?
And so that's anything Romero's zombies and anything Texas Chainsaw Massacre I've seen. And I again, now there was, I can't remember which movie that it was, but at the very beginning they Gunnar Hansen was in it, and
that was Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one, it was pleasant for me to see them again. So it was like, oh, that's cool that they had a gig, but it doesn't it doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything. I'm just pleased that they made a little bit of money, but that's it. You know, and the fact that they're not playing the characters that they're supposed to be playing, to me, is just stupid too. I don't like.
And the other part of you is
cameos.
like, wait a minute, there was no additional Chainsaw family members. Who are all these other people? What's going on?
Yeah.
There was no uncles. What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you know, it's just ridiculously stupid to me. But
If
I'm
we
the
can
one who keeps going back to the well.
Well, yeah, because you love it. I mean, I'll sit there and watch a Puppet Master movie, and I know it's going to suck. I'm like, all right, the likelihood of this movie being good is probably like slim and zero.
Yeah.
And I still watch it, and then I'm like, yeah, that's what I figured. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but you're not 68 years old. I'm the one who goes, all right, so I have a set amount of time left, and I just spent 93 minutes on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the you know, the birthday party or something like that. And it's like, the fuck were you thinking, you idiot? So
if we get Adam Marcus on the Friday the 13th live event, I'm gonna have to ask him about his involvement in Texas Chainsaw and ask him, what were you guys thinking exactly? No offense. I'm just trying to figure out what was with what time was it meant to be? Because people got cell phones, but it's a direct sequel to the original that took place in the 70s. And you try to be sly by when you show the gravesite, you have a flower that's obscuring the year that someone died. And I'm just like, well, what are you doing there? What is that all about? And I mean that in the most least offensive way possible.
Yeah, the least offensive. What the fuck were you thinking?
See, but I would ask you that. I would expect you to ask me that. I would expect you to go, Rick, I love you, but fuck me. What the hell were you thinking?
Exactly.
I want that type of honesty out of creative entities. I think that's what I hate about other podcasts.
Yeah.
When I hear them sit down with someone who's made a shitty movie. And if you're there for your new Blumhouse movie, it's probably a shitty movie. And for them to talk about, you know, all this fake sincerity, like, oh yeah, the images were very interesting, and you're just like, don't lie to this man.
Right.
Just say, what was the deal with this and this? Why did you do that? I don't understand. You know, just help me. What is it, the new phrase the kids say? Make it make sense.
Right. which
make it make
is the
sense,
new
Adam.
version,
Why?
which is the new version of "Help Me, Help You." Yeah,
Version of what the
it's.
fuck is what it should be.
The
I know
original what the
exactly,
fuck.
exactly.
It's just because I'm pretty sure other filmmakers we've appreciated. I think that type of candor probably happened quite a bit. I'm pretty sure if Lucas did something, Spielberg would be like, George, really? I'm pretty sure they would say, Steven, really?
Yeah,
Because I would do that. I mean, aren't you honest with your people?
yeah.
I mean, it's like you told me when I started writing for you. You're like, if I didn't like your shit, or if I just because you're my friend doesn't mean I would hire you. It's the same thing. I
Yeah,
think it should be that type of relationship with filmmakers. I think you should be able to say, dude, that Texas Chainsaw, it's like, what were you thinking?
right. Well, again, with my site, not necessarily with the podcast, but with my site, people who like stuff that I like would enjoy. Hopefully, would enjoy everybody on the site. So, so as I said to you, if I didn't like your voice, it would not be on the site, and I say that to both of you.
Yes.
It just wouldn't, because if I can't get attached to it, then I'm assuming my readers won't. So
And when
yeah,
it comes to movies, when you have a friend group of directors or creatives and they make something like this, that's what I guess Ricky's asking
yeah,
is where's the checks and balances and the direction that they took it doesn't fall into line with anything of its predecessors or even just the good storytelling.
right.
You know what I wish it was like? I wish it was like the days of Pauline Kael, because for reference for Callie, uh, she was a huge film critic back in the day.
Yeah,
And the thing was, she was accepted into that culture of filmmakers, and she would hang out with filmmakers.
Okay.
She would be invited to parties and things of that nature, but there was never a moment she traded that access for integrity as a critic.
unlike Rex
So,
Reed and other,
right, she
kind
would
of like,
she would call out Francis
yeah,
Ford Coppola. She would call out Peter Bogdanovich. If she didn't like your movie, she would tell you why. And the thing
Okay.
is, it wasn't catty. It wasn't like, I just hate your movie. Not like
right,
a modern day critic who's like, it sucks.
yeah,
No, she would explain, this is why I feel you went wrong.
Okay.
And surprisingly, the filmmakers would be receptive to it.
yes,
They
they
may
Oh,
not
would,
agree with it, but they wouldn't shun her.
right,
Today, we have a culture of filmmakers who, if you trash their movie, what do? Oh, well, you don't understand. You
yeah,
didn't get the movie. You don't understand. I had to produce that movie on a very low budget. It's just excuse after excuse, as
yeah,
opposed to just saying, all right, you didn't like it. I tried my best.
yeah,
I don't want to hear about what you didn't have as a filmmaker. The results is what matters.
yeah. You want
And
to
you have
get
to
into
take your
what
lumps.
you want to get into what directors didn't have. You and I can bring up a ton of movies where directors didn't have two fucking sticks to rub together, and they made a damn good movie.
yes.
And it could have its faults, but it's a damn good movie. And
See,
there's a battlefield littered with bodies like that. It just amazes me that, well, we didn't have. You have to understand. No, I don't have to understand a damn thing. You have to make a good movie. I have to watch it and enjoy it. That's what it boils down to.
yeah, you didn't have Wes Craven going out there talking about Cursed, saying, well, it's the Weinstein brothers. They took this away from me. They did
Yeah,
this. No, he's just like, I made the movie and that's it. Vampire in Brooklyn. He didn't go out there and say, well, Eddie Murphy kind of circumvented me most of the time. And
right.
no, you have to put your work out there. And again, you take your lumps.
Yeah,
And I think that's where I lost any level of respect for Adam Wingard when the Blair Witch came out.
yeah,
And instead of taking his lumps, he went onto Twitter and bitched about people not understanding the movie.
right.
I said, no,
Oh,
we understood the movie. We understood that you had like a multi-million-dollar budget to make a movie that a bunch of kids made for less than $500,000 and did better. That's what we know. You
Right.
took the lore and the mythos and just kind of ruined them for the most part.
Yeah, there's nothing that ruins my day quite like having somebody tell me that their sucky movie is my fault because I didn't grok it. You know, it was like, really? That's what you're going to blame that on. I mean, yes, they didn't mention me by name, but it's my fault. That's
I
what it
always
is.
compare it to a restaurant. How many times have you been at a restaurant and been like, "Hey, this burger is burned.
Yeah,
Can you take it back?" You don't get it. It's a
yeah,
smash burger. It's meant to be crunchy and burned.
right.
I don't think so. Well, maybe this is just not your type of restaurant. It's a
But it's a
burger place.
burger.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty sure, and it's the same. It's a ridiculous analogy, but it is. It's how people operate when they get criticized.
yep, yep.
It's so bizarre to me. I don't get it.
No, I've done I've done certain projects that I'm more proud of than other ones. But you know what? I took every gig that I got for a reason. And you know what? Sometimes that reason was wrong, but oh well, you know, I took it anyway. And I've had some great successes and I've had some less than great successes, but it's on me. You know, I wrote it. So that's what the deal is.
Like
I'm
Ricky
not going to
says,
sit there.
take your lumps.
Yeah,
Take your lumps.
exactly. Um, you know, I was very fortunate in being able to do the Alf merchandising. I think I probably told you off camera, and I don't mind if this gets out there.
Okay.
They were very generous with me. They let me set my own deal.
Nice.
So they didn't get a percentage. I mean, yes, they got money from the items that sold,
Yeah.
obviously, but but I didn't have to share the money with them. I could set my own price on every single thing. Nobody ever came in 2.5 years and said, you're probably charging too much. No one got involved.
Oh, okay.
So it was a wonderful deal.
Yes.
But I would sit in my apartment. The phone would ring. I'd get an offer. We need you to do this,
Hmm.
and I would look around my apartment quietly and go, "What do I need?" And if it was a new color TV, I'd say, "Yeah, I'm going to need $700 for that." And
Yep.
oh, okay, fine. And that was it. I would furnish my place one
Based on
one
that.
one gig at a time, and and if and I tried very hard to do something that I was proud of every time, and I think I accomplished that
Yeah.
an awful lot. Um, but it, when it was all said and done, if it kind of missed the mark, I'd sit there and say, "Well, yeah, but I got a new stereo out of it, so you know, I'm happy.
It
I
served
took
its
it. I
purpose.
took it. Yeah, I took it for the stereo. Okay,
You did the Betsy Palmer thing. It's like, oh, I need a new car. I'll do that Friday the 13th movie now.
there
That's
you go.
Is that how that came about? Nice.
Yeah, she had turned it down. She really wasn't too excited about the prospects of it. And then
Oh,
yeah, she needed a new vehicle, and she ultimately, I think she came to love her
Oh,
connection to
I
the.
absolutely agree because the fans loved her. And
ah,
and I think when you go through life, even if they're only pointing to one role, which that you know, look, that'll bother people sometimes, and I get that.
yeah.
Um, the first thing they bring up with me is Alf always, and but I also understand it. I mean, I loved that was four great years for me. Um, but that's what they'll bring up, the merchandising or the story consultant,
Hmm. Or the
gig.
books. Yeah.
Yeah, just anything like that. Um, but do I sometimes wish that they would lead with Crisscross or Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, sure, I would. It would be nice, but it's not the way it is. Um, but you never get tired, truly tired of somebody saying, gee, you know something? I watched that when I was growing up, and man, I love that. That connected with me.
Yeah.
You just never get tired of that. And I think that the reason she came to grips with the fact that she was in that Friday the 13th was that it affected people,
The
and
fan base.
they didn't think it was going to be her. I mean, it was a huge surprise,
Yes.
and there's something magical, even if you don't consider yourself a horror personality. There's something magical about somebody coming up and saying, by the way, you scared the shit out of me in 1980. You know?
You guys, there's something about scaring people. It's I won't say
Absolutely.
empowering necessarily, but in terms of eliciting a response out of someone, I mean, think about it. When you scare one of your friends, when you know they're going to come out of the bathroom or they're
Yep.
waiting on you, and you're just like, whew, there's just something about that moment of them going, oh, and then they either laugh or call you an asshole, whatever the
Right.
case may be. But I used to love scaring the kids to the point where I think I may have traumatized Caleb. I'm not sure. He would just
Oh,
be
you
like,
think you did.
stop.
Right. Yep.
Well, he did join the military, so he's just like, you know what? Nothing scares me because my father would scare the shit out of me all the time. I didn't want to go to the bathroom.
I like creeping people out more than actually scaring them. Um, uh, so I used to do something to Paul, more so when we were doing the children's specials for Showtime prior
Mhm.
to Alf. Paul has a thing about razor blades
Mm.
and the possibility of getting cut.
Yeah.
So somebody like putting a razor blade in their pocket because he figures, okay, at some point they're going to put their hand in, they're going to forget about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I would do, I would put a double-sided razor blade on my tongue,
Oh no.
just not sticking in, just laying flat. And I would go up to him, and he'd be talking to me. He'd say, "Listen, we're going to need such and such for the next shot, and everything else." And I would just very slowly just stick my tongue out with the razor blade on
Oh.
it, and he would just he'd look at it and he'd freak for a second. He'd turn around and walk away. And that's the kind of thing I used to love, is just creeping somebody out, much more than the actual scare.
I
So
didn't think you were weird, but you're kind of weird actually. That's kind of you could have harmed yourself.
no, but I was never out of control. It's not like you're not in a situation like that where all of a sudden somebody walks by you and hits you in the gut and you swallow the thing. I mean, it's not, it's
You
not
don't
that.
know. That could haon.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, it happens in a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. That's all. That's where it happens, not in real life.
So, okay, I missed the segment between you guys and Melissa. What was her Thanksgiving food? What did she bring on? Anything?
She said potatoes because she was going to make mashed potatoes.
Man, you guys didn't understand the assignment at all. We were
No,
all
we
supposed to
kind
have
of didn't.
foods.
Oh, for heaven's
I
sake.
know.
I was going to go to Wawa and get a turkey bowl. Do you guys have Wawa in Florida?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, we just got recently, like within the past 5 years, we got Wawas.
Mhm.
When I swear to you, I used to buy my beer at Wawa's in Connecticut when I was underage. That's how long we've had Wawa's in Connecticut.
Wow.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So they're not a new
So have
company then. Oh.
so you've seen the turkey bowl thing they got, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
That was my plan this morning. And then she's not into it, and you're like, just use graphics. It's
What are you
fine.
talking about? I'm not
We
into it. I
we had
asked.
a plan.
I put the text out there. I did my due
I
diligence.
I was going to do tofurkey, but you know what? The bottom line is, it's like it, it's all I can do to just get ready for this. It's like and then so I look at the tofurkey box because I don't make it. Eileen thankfully makes it for me, and
Ah.
uh, that I can't cook, but tofurkey's a whole different animal. No,
Yeah.
no pun intended. And and it's like 4 hours. What the hell?
But we're gonna
So
be
it's like,
recording in 10 minutes.
yeah, exactly.
You're like, I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. What the hell?
Right. Yeah. So it's like, where's the microwave instructions for this? No, it's no such thing.
Yeah, you gotta pop
So
that sucker in the oven.
yeah. But it gives us a chance to do it right next year.
I mean,
Exactly.
does that mean when you guys show up to the Christmas one, where you're going to talk about everything but the subject of that particular Christmas episode?
Oh, we're doing Jingle Jaws.
Are you going to stick to the formula? Are you going to stick to the
It's
formula?
Jingle Jaws 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm registering that with ASCAP. Are you kidding? That's going to be a fucking thing.
What's
Okay, like-
ASCAP?
That's the music industry copyright agency.
It's like the
for-
Writers
Nice.
Guild kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, that's going full tilt.
fantastic. I love
Yeah.
it. It'll be a whole thing.
It will be a whole thing. It just hits me that the sensibility of doing a summer blockbuster for Christmas to me was just perfect. It was like, I'm jealous that I never thought of it. That's how good an idea it is. It's like, of course, that's what the fuck we're doing.
Yes.
So yeah.
Christmas Jaws.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good time actually to mention it to everyone watching and listening. So for our December special, we actually have two things going on in December.
I know.
On December 13th, we're going to have a live Friday the 13th kind of love fest. We're going to talk about our favorite movies in the series and just things that stand out about Friday the 13th to us. And the cool part about it is Victor Miller, who wrote the original, as you know, is going to be hanging out with us. And we're going to get to talk to him and ask all the geeky questions. And I'm looking forward to that. But
I am
then
too.
we also have a pre-recorded one we're going to do like the rest of our shows. And like Rich called, it's Jingle Jaws. And we're going to be celebrating Christmas with our love for a movie that takes place during the 4th of July weekend.
Absolutely. Oh, and we should mention that we're going to try desperately to do something very special for New Year's Eve, which is still technically December.
Yes.
So
yeah.
That's three things.
December's going to be pretty freaking busy. I wouldn't plan on doing anything in December if I were you. I would just sit here and wait for us to do stuff.
Maybe we can start doing that for every kind of major holiday, like the most oddball horror movie connected. Like, it has nothing to do with the holiday. Yeah, it's fun.
Ooh, Alien for Easter because of the eggs.
Oh.
That's pretty good, actually.
That's it. And by the way, this is copyrighted material, so you people can't do it.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
MonsterKid Fury. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, we're not going to have that buffer, by the way, the Friday the 13th episode.
You won't.
I know. I'm looking forward to it,
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm sure you are.
Anti-Live.
I'm sure you are.
You're not anti-live. You're just, again, the same thing I am, which is you're kind of worried about what you're going to say to keep the ball rolling. But again, it doesn't need to be so serious, because think of it on the terms of like doing a panel. Those are live. You're in front of an audience. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, and Joel is going to come on the show. He's excited about interacting with you because of the podcast. Ian is excited because he's heard you a few times and he's intimidated by that wealth of knowledge in your head. So he's looking forward to talking to you.
But Ian's literally listened to all of our episodes and he's commented on damn near all of them.
He's our biggest fan.
So, yes.
Yikes.
I feel like he knows us more than we like to let on.
I actually talked to him before we started recording, and he's halfway through the Carpenter episode, and he's like, yeah, man, it's fucking fantastic as usual. He's like, but I gotta talk to you. You don't like In the Mouth of Madness? I'm like, yeah, it's not one of my favorites, man. He's like, oh, I love it.
Let's take an aside. Hold on.
See, I get a lot of that from Carpenter fans. Though. How could you not like that movie? Pretty easy. It's relatively easy.
Well, the thing is, Carpenter did so many, home runs, in my opinion, that his lesser movies, it sounds like you're slamming the hell out of them, but again, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're saying it's not one of my favorites. You know, it's Christine all over again. I don't hate Christine. I just thought it was a huge misstep at the very beginning. We've discussed it, so I don't want to go over it again. But I think right off the bat, it was a misstep. So,
One of the quick rewind back to that episode. As you are with your wife, I'm sure she calls you on your good points and your bad points. And something Callie brought up to me was the fact that I should probably clarify when it comes to what appears to be schizophrenic thoughts on Carpenter's film scores. My relationship with the music that he's done is very much like my relationship with the scores of John Williams. They've produced so much fucking amazing stuff that
mhm,
if I'm listening to it at that moment, I kind of think it's my favorite. But that's only
right,
because there's another one so good later. Because like I'll listen to the score for Jaws and I'm like, oh, this is Williams' best stuff. But then when I'm listening to the Raiders March,
right,
I'm just like, oh, this is fucking phenomenal.
yep,
But then I hear the Superman the movie score and that theme, and I'm just like, nope, this is it. This is his best stuff.
right,
And I'm kind of like that with Carpenter, not his films, but his scores.
yep. I'm 100% with you on that.
But he does have
Um,
some stinkers of scores too, though.
you know,
Body Parts is a pretty bad score.
yeah,
It's pretty
but
bad.
um,
Ghost of Mars is pretty bad.
what I, I'll be doing exactly what you did though. I'll be listening to something that he wrote,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden I'll think of June, 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 June,
Mhm.
and I'm like, that's it. Nope. This section right here is possibly the greatest thing ever written.
You
It's just
my favorite part of the Escape from New York theme
what?
is towards the end of the theme where it does that vroom, the
Yeah,
part I'm talking about.
yeah,
It's just out of the blue.
right.
Nowhere else in the theme does it come up, but it's just like that part. I'm just like, oh, that pulls it all together right there. Just that.
And on old synthesizers, that's all that is a toggle.
Oh.
And
Really?
and what it did there is it just raised it an octave.
Ah.
So it went, they hit a button, they went and it goes all the way up like that. It's
That was
simple.
actually a very good example of that.
Yes,
Actually,
it
that was
was.
Thank you.
if I
Thank
played
you
it
very
right
much.
next to the song, I'm just like, oh yeah, it sounds dead on.
Thank you very much. I went to imitating Moog synthesizer school. So
You know what? I bet that was Howarth. I bet that was him.
yeah.
He
Oh,
was like, John,
absolutely.
you know what this needs? And
Yep. I
John's like,
guarantee
oh
it.
yeah.
We're
John's
keeping it
like,
Yep.
I don't
in.
know what you did. Don't explain it to me because I'm
Just
too
do it
dumb.
again,
But
though.
Yes, yes.
Yep. No, that was because I still have two synthesizers here,
Really?
and yeah, um, both by Roland, which is my favorite synthesizer company, and uh, it's on the older one. The synthesizer I have, which is a 1988 JX3P.
Mhm.
Um, that's got that knob on it, and
Really?
it's great. And if you let it go because it's on a spring,
Ah.
it'll go back to the original, but it'll vibrate at the bottom because it's literally a spring under there. So it'll be
Oh.
That's awesome.
so.
You're like, can I get that into one of my songs somewhere? Yeah, I'll
Yep.
put it in there.
I just have a feeling that once you're done cutting out stuff that doesn't matter,
Mhm.
that this
Hmm.
is going to be about a 5 minute
It's not.
session.
Trust me.
That's not true, actually. No, I'm always trying to press upon her. Just let it roll as much as possible. But of course,
Yeah,
it's kind of
because
like
you're
the thing you
Mr.
said about
Live.
editor.
Yeah, you're Mr. Live.
Right.
It worked for Saturday Night Live. It's fine.
They still had scripts, baby. Like literally, they had something to go off of.
They did a lot of
What
improvisation.
and what exactly is the plus to doing it live? What do you think you're going to come up with that's going to be so fucking brilliant that it has to happen live, it not on tape? If it happened on tape, it's not going to matter.
It's the complete Charlie Band, Roger Corman in me, because not for nothing, people like watching it live. People will tune in because it's happening at the moment and they feel somehow involved. People can write us questions why we're doing it. It's just,
It's
it's
more
just
about the involvement of the audience
the
rather
interaction.
than.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do show and tell there kind of thing. That if you have any problems with what the fuck we're doing, write in.
Yeah,
and
something
be,
like that.
and be sure to leave your phone number and your address, because we are going to come and beat the snot out of you.
Which is like, you don't appreciate my point of view on that. What's your name again? Okay. And what is that closest to that one street? Okay, I got you. Yeah, I know that part of Florida well. Yeah, okay. It's
Yep.
good that we're in the same state. Yeah.
Coming for you.
Yep. Yeah. And you're going to be in the state of decomposition when I'm done with you.
I like that actually.
Thank you.
That's another T-shirt.
I figure that's Cobretti.
Cobretti.
Marianne
that movie.
Cobretti.
Yep.
I love
All
Cobra.
right, so
we're gonna do a whole episode about Cobra, but
when you do, I have a request. Don't tell me about it.
You don't like? How can you not like Cobra? How can you not like that movie?
I don't like look. I love Nighthawks. There you go. Nighthawks has none of that. There isn't one Rambo-ish line in Nighthawks. Nighthawks is a great fucking movie.
As good of a movie as it is, Callie busts up every time she sees the clip of the finale. Because remember, it's in Terror in the Isles.
Right.
And remember, honey, because Rutger Hauer thinks that it's his wife washing dishes, and it's actually Stallone.
That's right. Okay.
Here I am showing her this serious moment, and then the moment Sly turns around, she busts up laughing, and I'm like, what? It's a cool moment because he thought it was his wife.
And so his wife is shaped like that. I can't with it.
She's big boned. You're wrong. She's
Lindsay Wagner has wide shoulders.
She's just a big girl.
And the biceps. I mean, dog, come on.
I will tell you, I saw that in the theater and bought it hook, line, and sinker. It never looked weird to me because
how did the audience respond?
Same. I
they
swear
went
to you,
shit. They were just like, woo.
Absolutely. There were gasps at one point because you're not focused on the body. You're focused on the hair.
Yeah, the back of the head. Yeah.
And the hair looks good. I'll give you that. It looks good.
And then when he turns around, and it's not on exactly right, that actually helps. If it was on, if it was on perfectly right, it would look like he had long blonde hair. But it looks like when he turns around, it looks like he's wearing a wig, and it's supposed to because he is. And just the way he grabs it and just slides it off his, it worked in the theater.
I just picture Stallone like everyone's going to be amazed when they see this moment. They're
right,
not going to
exactly.
expect it. Yeah.
But I'm
and
telling
it is funny
you,
to picture in the reality of the movie. I need a wig, and I need your bathrobe, and I need you to get out of the house. I'm gonna catch this guy. Yeah.
So did you see it in Terror in the Isles, or did you see it the movie?
Me or this one?
No,
She saw
Callie.
it just in Terror in the Isles, but it's
Oh,
the only way she's seen.
That's
She
why.
she didn't see the she
that's
didn't
why
see
it
the
didn't
rest of the
work.
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that's why it didn't work.
Nope.
You got Lando Calrissian in that movie.
Hell yeah.
But that's the problem, though. You didn't show this movie to me previously. You're just like, oh, we're gonna
But I
watch
still
Terror
didn't
in the
expect you to
Isles.
bust up laughing like that.
Well, because the context was all wrong. Obviously,
It's
I'm
a
gonna
documentary
laugh.
on horror movies. That would have been like you
But-
laughing when Leatherface comes out and grabs somebody. It's like, oh, that's some funny mess right there.
But that context is perfect in the way that it is.
I know.
Thinking, or you walking into a room thinking it's a woman and then turns around it's a dude. That's
It's
funny.
just
That's
funny.
comedy. That's not terror. That's not scary.
Well,
Again,
that
the
happened to-
context is very important.
No, that happened all the time to me in the 70s. I had a fucked up dating life,
Like,
but
what
you
the
know,
hell?
Again?
He goes, I'm going to stop dating for a while. This is
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Like
I told
Willow.
you, no beards.
Not a woman?
So,
Not a woman.
yeah, exactly. Great, again.
We're
sure she's
all
a
right,
woman
so
this
hopefully,
time, right?
Oh my god.
So, like a lot of people know from the site and everything else, if you read my stuff, we're approaching the anniversary of when I nearly died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
still here. Yay! You overcame.
Exactly. You're made of better stuff, Rick Patterson.
Something. But I want to thank you.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for getting me involved in the site and everything.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Because, like my wife is reminding me, you got to look back at the years before. And yeah, 2 years before, I was in an attic or under a house fixing air conditioning for unappreciative people. And now I'm back on a path. And though it's stressful because it takes time to build something, you know, it's a work in progress, as Rich reminds me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. And
it's fun talking to you guys. And it's fun to know that people are listening to us.
I went through something similar, not the same, but certainly similar, and it'll fuck with you. It most certainly will fuck with you.
Yes.
And the people who love us, it fucks with them too.
I know. And I want to thank you, baby girl, for being a part of all this. And I'm proud of you because you stepped into something that
Stepped into something.
that's a poor choice of words. You took a step into something that you had no idea how to do it, and you know, you've kicked its ass.
Yeah. And thank God you had the good sense to look at us and go, yeah, they're not going to be able to do this. Somebody's going to have to do this.
That's the point of a director, right? It's like here, I'll let them do that, and then I'll take credit for it later. All I can do is take credit for asking you to do it, and no, you've done a fucking amazing job, and I'm proud of shit.
I agree.
Well, thank you.
Yep. And I've actually edited film. I mean, I've cut film together, and I could not do what you do, especially with us. Shit. I mean, seriously. So
Rich would have been like, all right, you know, fuck it. I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. he would be directing yourself. It's like looking in the mirror, like that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What the hell is wrong with you? Did you have to talk about being a projectionist again? Did you really need to mention that? Damn it.
Right, exactly.
Alf. I wrote Alf. Good job, Rich. All right. Get in there. Do it without a flub. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, what we've got here is a pretty damn good thing, and something that we are thankful for. and
Yes.
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Same here, Kimasabi. So
Well, damn, baby. Getting all in
Yeah,
the feels.
thanks for bringing the mood down. Jeez, I was just going to mention that I projected adult movies again, but now I can't. Now
you're
it'll
like,
look
now I'm gonna be
bad.
self-conscious about it. He's gonna be sitting there on the next episode going, well, when I was never mind.
Yeah, never. Fuck it.
Oh,
Even if we have a projectionist on an episode, you're gonna be like, don't say it. Don't
Yeah,
say
I'm
it.
not.
Don't say
I'm
it.
not. That's the thing. It was great when Mark was on because we could talk about writing, but do not get a projectionist on because I'm not bringing it up. I'm just not. Oh, really? That must be an interesting thing that you did there. Not that I'd have any idea how it's done.
No,
Not-
you'll be like Anthony Hopkins in Magic when he's just trying hard to not let Fats talk,
right.
and then it just kind of comes out all of a sudden. You just be like, I did that for a number of years, and it was really interesting because you're just like, holy shit, he just exploded.
The platter system sucks.
It was projectionist all over us.
I think
Projectionists everywhere.
this is the perfect wrap up for Thanksgiving talk.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, Rich, do you have any last words in regards to the Thanksgiving episode?
Yeah, I do,
Projectionist.
but I said I would. I was just gonna say. I said I wouldn't mention it anymore. No, I will say the same thing. I wrapped up the other one. I am immensely thankful that that I know you people and I love you people and that you're in my life and I wake up every morning knowing that. So
Yee. Fantastic. Very, very thankful for you as well and the opportunity to do these wonderful podcasts with you guys because it's a very fun experience and one that I wouldn't trade for anything.
it's barely a job. It really is. It's just a lot of fun. And Rick was the one smart enough to know. He said, "We do this every week or two on the fucking phone.
Right.
Why can't we do it on camera?" And I'm like, "Cause it just wouldn't work." And he went, "It's working now. Just record it."
Yeah.
And at least she gets to be a part of it, as opposed to being like Leslie Nielsen on the end credits of Airplane, because she would open the garage door. She's like, "You guys are still talking, okay?"
Yeah. Yep. So
that happens
Rick,
so many times. If I had $1 for every time a family member opened the garage door and be like, "Yep, he's still talking, okay."
Yeah. Okay.
Don't they run out of stuff to talk about?
Right.
No.
Ever?
No.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the great thing about it, though.
Yeah,
Hey,
I agree.
Friendship abound.
I agree. All right, so I will say my goodbye and just have a wonderful holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
And you, baby, do you have any last words?
Just happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for listening to us. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate you all. Happy Thanksgiving and take care. Bye.
Don't watch Thankskilling if you have kids. There's nipples. I forgot it. That's what I should have said.